Welcome to our KTM and Africa Twin adventure to Switzerland. Ooh, toast. Bread. Ugh. The temptation was to glue a load of footage together of us riding some passes, but that was deemed a little bit boring in the pub. So I've decided to make this a bit more informative. So if you're thinking of going to Switzerland on your bike, you might want to stick around. Going to try and tell you what we thought were the best places to stay, our favourite passes, what we thought of the bikes, all that kind of stuff. Now, before we kick this off though, I've been a very fortunate man with my motorcycle adventures. Along with my friends, we've ridden through France a few times, some Italian passes, we've done Stelvio, been lost in the Alps, been to the highest road in Europe, the Napoleon route, French Riviera, the Spanish Pyrenees, a spell in Tuscany, Austria, we've been to the Millau Viaduct, and we've done the Nürburgring. In fact, yes, I've been a very lucky man. I've loved all of these motorcycling adventures. They've been fantastic. The only downside is that monotonous ride through the Netherlands and Belgium and northern France. It's really boring. Fortunately, our KTM riding amigo Mark came up with a plan. Put both bikes on the back of a van. We'll then nip to the pub, have a quick goodbye beer, jump on the ferry and enjoy, well, you know, might be a tipple or two and our free room upgrade. Then we'll drive to Switzerland in a single day, missing out all the boring stuff and getting us there as quick as possible. When we arrive in Switzerland, it's time to check into the hotel, grab a quick beer and look forward to a hearty breakfast the next day. That'll be bread, a side order of bread and some bread. Mark can barely contain his enthusiasm. On the plus side, we're staying in a beautiful village called Andermatt, which is right in the middle of the Swiss Alps, but there's no time to hang around. We've got to get the bikes off the van, get the wing mirrors and screens fitted back on, and then ride out of the village to those gorgeous Swiss passes dead ahead. And we're off. South of Andermatt lies the St. Gothard Pass, an excellent introduction to the Swiss Alps. Long sweeping corners, good quality tarmac, but the further we ride near the top, the colder it gets. We must have lost 15 degrees by the time we get to the summit. It's freezing, but this place is beautiful and well worth a visit. The mountains and views from the top are simply breathtaking. Up next, the Cistern Pass. Some idiot forgot to press record on the camera. So the best I can do for you now is this rather smart view from the top. Speaking of idiots. On both sides you've got long sweeping corners, hairpins near the top, great tarmac, you'll not be disappointed. You're not the only one out there having a little bit of fun. You've got to watch out for these guys. That happens a bit more than I'd like it to. So if you like to ride everywhere at 15,000 RPM, you're going to need your crystal ball with you. Now, you need to keep an eye out for these guys too. Apparently anything over 3-4 kilometers over the speed limit, you're up for an on-the-spot fine. Now, I don't know when these guys clock off, but the Alps are alive with high-end sports bikes at about 4-5 o'clock. No idea why. Anyway, back to the action. The sun's come out. Goldfinger's favourite, the Furka Pass. Definitely our favourite pass so far. We might have ridden that a couple of times. Anyway, it's back to the hotel in Andermatt. We have a couple of beers and look forward to another hearty breakfast the next morning. Then it's the Grizzle Pass. We ride the Furka Pass again over to the Grizzle. Welcome to the Grizzle Pass. That is the Furka Pass. We've got a long day ahead of us. Let's get a move on. We'll add a Motoeuro sticker at the summit and grab a quick coffee. No time to hang around. We're riding down the pass towards the enormous hydro dam. Grizzle Pass Part 2. Down there. We're coming back to the Grizzle Pass soon for something very, very special. But until then, it's the Cistern Pass. Nope, still can't do it. The Grizzle and the Cistern are quickly becoming our new favourite passes. More about that a little bit later on. Now, we all know Switzerland's very expensive, but Andermatt is turning out to be crazy money. So we've decided to jump from Andermatt up the road to Wazen. We're staying in the Gerig Hotel, which is right on the Cistern Pass. Thoroughly recommended, sensibly priced and great food. You can see all these roads link up to form this magic figure of 8. If you stay anywhere around here, this is motorcycling nirvana. Anyway, we enjoy a couple of beers on the evening, wake up to a proper breakfast, and we're off on a fairly big day. We ride the Oberaar pass right over to the Splugenpass. That takes us into Italy. We ride the pass back again to the San Bernadino. We return via Lucamagno and the Oberaar to the hotel for some well-deserved beers. Whew! Compared to the bigger passes, the Oberaar seems slightly less epic, but it does have an infeasibly long tunnel carved out the mountainside, a sticker, a lighthouse and a village idiot. Fortunately, the ride down is more entertaining. The road across may be very pretty, but all these towns and villages are slowing us down. We're not making good time. Eventually, the mighty Splugenpass. Think of this one as more of an adventure. The road is narrow, the tarmac is poor, and if you're after knee-down sports action, you're in the wrong place. But when you get to the top, it's worth it. Italian tarmac is no better, but they are very good at stunning views. Keep your eyes open for this entertainment. These short tunnels are everywhere and they can be a little bit slippy inside. Let's just be grateful they haven't put hairpin corners in to catch you out. Oh, hang on. I'm one of those people that'll get lost in his own bathroom. So it's come as no surprise that I might have got us a bit lost. You see, I thought the Splugenpass joined up to the San Bernardino Pass. It doesn't. It's not even close. 10,000 years of cartography wasted on me. What this means is we have to ride the Splugenpass all the way back, down the other side of course, pick up the correct road to get towards the San Bernardino Pass where normal service is resumed. The road surface is far better, but it's no wider, yet the San Bernardino Pass is still fun to ride. Not sure what these buildings are, probably something to do with water because there's boatloads of it at the top and it's teeming with fish. We add a sticker to the sign and then Mark jumps ahead. We're really short of time now, and if we're not back before 8:30 to the hotel, we'll go hungry. We've still got the Lucamagno pass to ride before we even get close. We're really losing the light now. Best I can do for you is this photograph. We're in a bit of a hurry because we want to get to the hotel, and unbelievably, I don't even know how we've done this, we actually make it back in time to order food and enjoy those well-deserved beers. We're having serious psychological issues over breakfast. Mark's now eating bum bread. Today we're going in the opposite direction. We ride over the Cistern Pass down to the Cistern Pass. This takes us back into Italy. At the bottom of the Cistern Pass there's a military checkpoint security border thing, so no cameras, no video. We parked up there and walked about 50 yards down the road. That's where that restaurant is. Next door to that there's a shop. Now if you're after some cheap wine that's very good, you're in the right place. Take your top box with you or a backpack, fill up with cheap cigarettes and then get yourself back into Switzerland. You'll save a fortune. Right, we're coming to the end of our adventure to Switzerland. In fact, it's our last day. Anyway, I promised you something very special at the Grizzle Pass. Now, I got talking to a couple of Swiss cyclists. They told me about this place. It's quite quiet. There are certainly no motorcycles. They described it as one of the most beautiful places in the whole of the Alps. If you're riding the Grizzle Pass, you might want to stick around for this. Mark's been trying to find somewhere we could ride off-road for our final day, but for the moment we're riding to the top of the Grizzle Pass. Our cyclist friends tell us to keep an eye out for a traffic light. We take a few minutes to enjoy the view, and just round the corner we found it. That traffic light only changes once every hour. This is the road to Oberaar. Welcome to the Oberaar Glacier. I wish I could find our cycling friends to thank them. It turns out they were right. My GoPro didn't do that much justice. You'll see when you're there. Now, Mark's been looking at the map, trying to sort out a bit of off-roading before we go home. Nothing too serious, just a bit of a laugh. Proving to be a bit more difficult than we thought, but eventually his perseverance has paid off. Time to relax and have a late lunch. Oh, for God's sake. At the hotel, we use the evening to pack up. Yeah, sort of. In the morning, we load the van up with our bikes, our cases, we say our goodbyes, hit the road, and when we board the ferry, that signals it's time for a quick beer, followed by a beer, and you get the idea. Before you can say what's for breakfast, we're back home. Oh, for fuck. If you're still here, I admire your stamina. You've probably worked out which was our favourite pass. In terms of the bikes, not really a great deal of difference between the two, to be honest. They both performed really well. There is a level of irony here though. Mark is a much taller man than I am. And my Africa Twin is a much taller bike than his KTM. Perhaps we should have... never mind. Before I go, a couple of shout outs, very important. Firstly, I'd like to thank my brother John. He was supposed to come on this trip, but sadly had to pull out. Nevertheless, he made an enormous effort to come to the pub for a goodbye beer and brought with him a bag of nibbles we could have on our road trip. And to Steve for bringing his young family to Tynemouth to wave us off. The boys are out there somewhere. I'd like to thank Mark, not only for his amazingly comfortable air-conditioned van, but being brutally honest, this trip wouldn't have happened without him. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my wife, not just for this trip, but for missing out on countless holidays because Monkey Boy here wanted to go away on his motorbike. That's it guys, we're done. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for your company and thank you for watching. Hope you've spotted the clues to our next big adventure, but there'll be a lot more videos to come before that. Your very good health. There's another glass of that and a hot bath with my name written all over it. See you later.